football, bloody hell.
Old Trafford, this is the theatre of dreams. Will you please welcome...
Hello and welcome to the Busby Way podcast. I'm United Macca, and tonight I have the honour, the privilege and the duty to announce that the Busby Way podcast has reached the elite. We're now dining at the top table with the likes of David Beckham, George Best, Eric Cantona and Memphis Depay. That's right, we're on episode number 7. We've reached the 7 club. It's fantastic. And seven heaven, baby. And because of that, we've got a big fat juicy pod for you. We're going to be reviewing last night's game. We're going to be talking all the United hot topics. Kobbie Mainoo's t-shirt, his brother's t-shirt, and obviously we're going to be talking a bit about transfer rumours, ins, outs, comings, goings, and also the hunt for the elusive Dong Fanjo. But before we get into that, make sure you get your phone out, your tablet or your iPad or whatever you're watching us on, and give us a like, share and a comment. It really does help with the algorithm. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, Courier Pigeon. However you're watching this podcast, give us a like and share.
And if you want me to post it to you, I'll post it to you as well.
We cover all bases.
Cover all bases.
So with that out of the way, let's get into it. Obviously, joined as always with the Oracle of Old Trafford, Bradley Tooth. How are we doing, Brad?
I was the frozen Oracle of Old Trafford last night, let me tell you. But the football did warm my cockles. I did really enjoy the game itself. You know, to see Manchester United score 4 goals at home is not something we can say much recently.
And to score 4 goals at home and not come out with a win is something we say even less.
Let's not talk about the meta side of it just yet.
Yeah. Let's just celebrate the fact that we're on episode number 7 and we've reached that elite number. Obviously, number 7 shirt for United. Name checked him in the intro. We've got Eric Cantona, Best, Beckham, and Memphis Depay. Rate them.
Mason Mount. Yeah. We've got Cristiano. But I think of the 3 that you mentioned, so we're going Best. So we're rating who? Best, Cantona and Bex, right?
Yeah.
What do you want me to? Bench, sell, keep?
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Bench, sell, keep.
Okay. I would have to keep George Best. I would have to bench... Oh my God. I'd have to bench Cantona and sell Beckham, even though David Beckham is my absolute idol. I cried when he left, like actual physical tears. But Georgie Best, wonderful. Cantona was the reason. He was the antithesis, he was everything about that team coming through. And I think, Beckham, as much as he was an underrated player, I think Cantona for his impact and Best because it's Georgie Best, man.
Of course, mate. Yeah, well, the number 7 jersey for United, it's kind of iconic. There's some big names there, but it's kind of lost its way in the last couple of years. Do you think it still carries that same weight that it used to do?
I think it does carry the weight, and I think, obviously Mason Mount wouldn't be my number 1 choice for the jersey. However, of late, I've really, really liked his attitude, his enthusiasm. Last night, he was incredible in the first half, like really, really good. And they had a moment of madness, but we'll get on to in-game management and all of that jazz.
Yeah, there's a lot
later. We'll just focus on number 7s, but I think David Beckham gave me one of my best moments in football, the free kick against Greece.
Oh, really? Were you there for that?
I was there for that.
Oh, what moment, yeah.
That was incredible. Again, a crying moment. I'm a bit of a crier, to be honest. When big things happen, tears. I mean, I remember like a teary moment of mine was just when Van Persie scored that volley against Villa.
Yeah.
And obviously at the time, everyone sort of started to know that Ferguson, that was his last, that was it. And I just remember thinking then, we'll never see anything like this again. And so far, I've been proven right.
You were very in the moment and zen at that.
I was. It maybe was the extra stuff that I put into my hot chocolate on that evening because it was also very, very cold. But yeah.
Oh, fair. The only time I've cried at Old Trafford was when they put the prices of the pies up. So fuming I was, mate.
Mate, so I've stole the limelight again. What's your 3 then? Who are you?
Oh, mate. So bench, keep, and sell out the 3. I think for me, you're keeping Cantona. I just loved him. He's the reason I fell in love
Yeah.
with United. Is him. Then there's only wrong answers with this.
There is.
There's only wrong and right answers as well. But I think keep Cantona. I think you bench best, and then you send Bex out into the world so that
He's
everyone else can enjoy him.
Well, he is Bram Beckham, let's get 10 years out of him and then sell him, like we did.
And that's it. He's a man of the people. He's a chameleon into different people and cultures. Remember when he got his hair braided and met Nelson Mandela and stuff? That was a moment.
Another teary one. Every time I watch that Beckham documentary where he talks about him leaving and he wells up, I well up.
I do.
Like, honestly, it's just because you can tell he loves the club, and as a fan, there's nothing more than I like than seeing the players who are wearing that shirt feel the same, like that connection, and that is distinctly lacking at the moment.
Yeah,
we can talk about Bruno's comments in a bit, but there we go.
But I felt like, funny enough, going on to that documentary, I felt when I watched it, Beckham was like more in love with United than the local lads were. The local lads was like, oh, it's the club at the end of the street who we've grown up watching. He was like, he was astonished by.
Yeah, it just goes to show you can, the whole chant that we hear all the time at Old Trafford is, we support our local team. It's such a boring thing. We are a global brand. There are people in every corner of the globe that love Manchester United. So that doesn't mean us local people are any better of a fan or worse of a fan than those people. If you love the club and you put your time and your energy into watching it and believing in the cause, then you're just as equal as, Dave who lives in Stretford,
Well, you convinced me I'm starting Beckham and I'm getting rid of Best then.
No, you're not. You can't get rid of the Belfast boy. Yeah,
I'm keeping all of them. I'm being greedy. I'm having them all and sending Memphis Depay out on loan. Yeah. So here we go. There's it. So that's it. Obviously, number 7s. We have joined the elite. Fantastic. Great achievement. Next week, we'll be celebrating the Nicky Butt achievement. As it is now, we are on the number 7.
What butter one matter?
Yeah, there we go, mate. Yeah. But yeah, let's not put it off any longer. Let's pick the bones out of last night's game against Bournemouth. First of all, let's get out of the way. As a neutral, what a game of football it was.
Incredible, right? Any game that ends in 4-4 is going to be an entertaining watch, but I think the quality of the goals, I think as they have to, especially from Bournemouth's goals were actual quality.
Yeah.
They worked hard for their goals. Yes, there could have been slightly better defending, but if you analyse it, they're great finishes. Lemons hasn't got no chance. There's a slight thing you could criticise him about the free kick, but it's struck with such power, precision,
As well, that's to be expected. You can't save everything. And to be fair, the ones he saved were probably more difficult than the free kicks. And that's a lot of kind of quick reactions to stop them. I thought he had a great game. I was considering. I know you could say he could do better with free kicks and stuff. But
what I will say is that for the goals they scored, oh my days, the Bournemouth fans have to be the worst fans I've ever had at Old Trafford. There was a slight roar when they scored, but it was just absolute silence for the rest of the 90 minutes, and it was just dreadful away support. That team deserved better. You could hear a mouse queef. Yeah, well, no, because the Stretford end was rocking last night. Well, it was really, really good. The atmosphere in Old Trafford was good last night, and me and the lad had a good night. Obviously disappointed with the result, but can't win every.
We can't win every game, but we can win the games that we're leading, and we seem to be throwing away leads at the moment. How do you come out of that game? Do you come out of it satisfied with coming out with a point? Do you come out really disappointed? Are you happy that we got a good performance? There's a mixture of things going on there. What are you leaning to most?
So I'm leaning towards disappointment, and I'm usually the glass half full type of guy. The reason why I'm disappointed is because I was going into it and I was barking about this stat: we've not won a second half at Old Trafford. And that's again the case. So it's another unwelcome record that continues. And it's disappointing because the first half, we created so many clear-cut chances and we're not clear. We'd not put the game to bed. And, the way to answer the stat other than winning in the second half is put games to bed in the first half. I thought it just felt to me like another big opportunity missed. Even though they scored 4 goals and, they at the end, we hung on a little bit. Lemons pulled us out of the crap. But
I'm sick of saying the words opportunity missed this season.
Oh,
It is
I'm bored
killing
as
me.
well, yeah.
We have had so many chances this season to kind of move up the table. We should, by all rights, probably be pushing for 4th, 3rd if we were turning these, if we're keeping hold of these leads, and we're just not doing it. I think one thing that kind of infuriated me a little bit last night is obviously we weren't clinical enough. That goes without saying, but the 4 goals we scored weren't chances that we created. If you think about the first one, the keeper bounces it for Ahmad to head it. The keeper chucks in Casemiro's header. Then the free kick is an absolute worldie, and that's just something that Bruno could produce. And the 4th one, the ball was meant to go to Ahmad, and the defender knocked it into Kuna's thing. So we didn't actually convert any of the chances we created, which is the frustrating.
I kind of get that, and yes, you can feel that way. However, because we created so many opportunities in the box, you kind of have to look. Last season, we weren't having any touches in any opposition box, right? So if you don't touch the ball in someone's box, you're not going to score many goals. We were getting into the positions to score, and they just simply couldn't defend those situations. So I'm less arsed about that. I was more, if I think Mbeumo puts away that volley, that was Van Persie-esque. Cunha's little touch and turn, great. Cunha miss one where he's in the centre of the goal and he sort of passes it just wide. Ahmad gets a shot blocked. Mason Mount forces a good save out the goalkeeper. Those, in my eyes, were all clear-cut chances. They weren't half chances. They weren't snatching chances. And you wouldn't have gone away from that. If Manchester United scored 8 in that first half, you wouldn't have gone away and thought, okay, they didn't deserve to. They didn't deserve that. Bournemouth were just rubbish. We were good.
Yeah, we played.
We played really well, and the defense was really aggressive. For 37 minutes, we played brilliant football. Then we had our 5 minutes, and then Casa got his goal. But yeah. Let's move on to the negatives, right?
Yeah, well, I suppose one thing that Amarin's getting a lot of flack for is the defence last night, the defensive options. Obviously, he started Luke Shaw and 2 very young centre-backs with a lot of potential. Yoro and Evan. They did okay, I thought. They weren't bad, they weren't great. I think the problem was with all the injuries we've got and Martinez coming back, they were probably his best selection to pick to start.
Yeah.
Who would you start other than that? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's a case of who do you start other than them. I think if you look at the game for the first 35 minutes, Semenyo was on the left-hand side, so he's on Yoro's side, right? Then what he did was he moved 2 players out there, or kept him there, so they were trying to double up. That didn't work. And like a couple of minutes before the goal, he'd moved over to the right-hand side. So for me, if you've got a plan, and if you're brave and you're doing this formation is a 1v1 formation, what is the risk in saying, all right, Heaven, you sort of go over to the left, Luke goes into the middle, or Yoro stays, or they switch sides? I think you've got to. There was a moment just before they scored where they sort of attacked, and it Shaw sort of looked a little bit weak, or Dallo, and it was like a warning sign. What disappointed me is we don't seem to react to warning signs. Or recognise them. And that's just a naivety that happens when a team is coming together, right? You hope they learn from these mistakes, and you hope the manager learns from these mistakes, because you can't have a record of no wins in the second half at Old Trafford at this stage of the season without needing to learn quickly from your lessons.
And well, that's it. It's about learning quickly. We played pretty well, obviously, for patches of the game. Do you think there's potential there that we're going to take this past the 35-minute mark and do the bulk of a match? I don't think you were ever going to get to a point where the full 90 minutes will be like that. But obviously, we did it a little bit in the previous game. His Wolves, we sat back after 30 minutes and just kind of protected it a little bit. And I just feel like we should be kind of moving on to that and trying to be more on the front foot throughout.
It's like they go game management light Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're like full throttle attack, and then they activate game management light, but they've not quite scaled up to game management pro.
Yeah.
You know, and the light model's got too many flaws. You know, that seems to be the issue. You know, it's like the passing becomes turgid for some reason. They do silly passes across the middle when, you know, the press has been invited on. They stop going long. That was something that happened. They stopped going long and they were trying to play out from the back, and then as soon as they scored, we were going long again, and it's like, okay, you kind of have to. You almost want the team to learn, not have to concede a goal to learn from a mistake. That's my beef.
Yeah, and I think one thing to note is Casemiro picked up a yellow card just in time for Christmas. What a shock! But he picked up a yellow card and he's now out for the Villa game, which is bad for him, bad for United, but also great for Kobbie Mainoo, who looks like surely with Casemiro being out, he's a starter.
Well, you know me, right? I've been banging on this bloody podcast about get Kobbie more minutes. But do you know what? I'm sick and tired of players' brothers causing crap and it not being dealt with. Why is he rocking up in a t-shirt like that like last night, Jordan? Why is he doing that? You know, is it helping Kobbie? No. Is it
just unnecessary? It's unnecessary noise that he doesn't need. He needs to have his head down and concentrate on what he's doing. And especially now he's got that opportunity to start. The drama around him is...
It just makes an easy out for him to play Ugarte, for me. You know, you don't need that. I mean, he is his half-brother. He won't be getting invited round for Christmas if it was mine. Do you know what I mean? But, look, take all that outside noise aside because, you know, you can choose your friends, you can't choose your family, right? So take that noise aside. I think Kobbie's obviously been doing enough in training to be ahead of Ugarte for to get games, get minutes. Let's hope that he can step in against Villa. Villa are a tough team, you know. They're on a really good run, right? But I watched them against West Ham and they struggled. You know, they seem to be Morgan Rogers FC at the moment, you know?
Yeah, Roy of the Rovers at the moment, isn't he? I think the week before as well, they were, was it Brighton?
Yeah.
They went behind and like they turned it around quite annoyingly actually because it was looking good for us in the table if that happened. But yeah, they've managed to turn it around twice. So I think they're not a team to be underestimated, and I don't think we would underestimate them. But it would be classic United to throw away when he beat Bournemouth and then the next week beat third in the league when it appears on paper we've got no chance.
Yeah, and you know, Villa, this run has really come from nowhere because they didn't start the season well, did they? And they sort of didn't score for a while, and now they seem to have been. They've got a good run of results, but I watch them and I'm not blown away by them. I don't think there's anything there that is completely, you know, cue the 4-0 Villa win now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, mate.
But I don't think there's anything to be super scared about. The only problem is that nobody picked up the niggle to keep them out of AFCON, you know?
Yeah, so there was a moment where Ahmad went down.
And I was like, oh, come on.
Oh.
No, I mean, even that's desperation. I think that means we've definitely got to... I mean, how long are they out for? Mid-January they got...
Yeah, well, good news is Onana's come back to the Cameroon team, so Memo's going to be coming back sooner than we thought. So that's good.
Has he been brought in?
Cameroon, it seems their manager, assistant manager are all having conflicting teams, but Onana apparently is back in the Cameroon squad, so that's hopefully, touch wood, in the group stages. Obviously, want our players to go as far as they can in it, to be fair. Like, you do want them to do that, but from a purely selfish United point of view.
Yeah, of course, and we need Onana to do well because we need him to get at least 10 to 15 million.
Yeah, he had an absolute shocker at that.
Oh no, I wasn't going to bring it up because I don't want to give any weight to it and any negativity that'll possibly, not that I can influence a sale of right now. Like, I don't want to speak it into existence, right? Yeah, but oh god, it was just very reminiscent of Man United, where it was like shots come in and you think, I genuinely, right, this is not no word of a lie, my under 14s goalkeeper saves more than what Onana does, you know, and I would confidently, no joke, pick him ahead of Andre Onana if Andre Onana rocks up for the Prestwich Falcons, and starts to train, I pick Oliver Roach over him.
Come on, Roachy lad.
Roach, and that's horrible to say because he's a professional footballer. But
Roachy, or?
no, but he just doesn't look like a goal. He does everything that I don't like from a goalkeeping perspective.
I'll tell you what, though, there was a moment last night, speaking of keepers, where ball came over the top and Lennon came right to the edge of his box, caught the ball before I think Lenny Yoro was holding someone off. And do you know what? I didn't get that feeling. I was going,
no.
Thank God a keeper did that. I'm now used to it. I'm numb to the fact a keeper can catch a ball, which is a bizarre change of events. Because a couple of games ago, when he catch a cross, I'm like, what? Who is this magician?
Well, I've had to cancel Turkey because my hair's growing back. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know, the anxiety. I'm pretty sure if we were in America, you know, they would have released some sort of pill to cope with, you know, the trauma bit from Onana.
Yeah. And Bayindir wasn't much better.
No, so. Look, Bayindir, right? I kind of feel for Bayindir. He had a couple of dodgy games, but he's not a bad number two. You know, we'll go on to talk about transfers, but when I watched the Wolves game, I thought, look, go get Sam Johnson in as a number two. Yeah. You know, the Wolves are going down, right?
He's better than that. Better than that standard.
Oh, 100%. He's probably could push Lamans, you know, in a positive way. He was in and around the club. He's a Manchester lad. He still lives in Manchester and commutes to Wolves.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him. No, not at all. But not that there's anything wrong with Birmingham. But
who was that player who tweeted the Chelsea player who's like Wolverhampton's a shithole or something? Was there a player?
It was for Stoke, wasn't it? It was for. No, it was Madwake.
Yeah.
Nonny Madwake.
Yeah, and then he get to come out and be like, oh yeah, actually, I really like it. I love the spoons.
I love the spoons. Do you know what? Nando's on Bishop's Hill or something like that. I mean,
top tier. But I think moving back onto the AFCON stuff, I don't think we're gonna struggle as much as everyone makes out we are. Because I'll tell you for a while, today.
A little bit
positive, mate. Yeah, a little bit positive. There's some dong in the air, and I'm just feeling it. But there's dongers in the air. But yeah, no, the reason why I kind of feel a bit confident about it is looking at last night. Kuna played so well last night. I thought he was one of our better players on the pitch. He was very good. Him and Mount were brilliant. Him and Mount were fantastic. Yeah. And then when Sesko came on, I thought he'd be a bit rusty. I thought he was kind of just going to be a cameo. He was getting involved, and I thought that front three. Yeah, maybe we're not going to be banging in 3-4 goals every game, but I don't think we're in bad hands. I think the front three is okay. I think Ahmad is the one that we need to kind of cover for.
I think what we need is something to like summon De Ligt back. Yeah. I think that's what we need. Just give me the light. I just need him back. You know, I miss him. You know, like you miss a friend when when you go for a beer and that one good mate's not out. You know, that's like super funny. He's always got a good joke. Like I want that reliable De Ligt there that's just going to slide through anyone. You know. Which
brings us to this, listeners. If you're out there, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a rain dance outside for De Ligt. So if you want to join us, 8 p.m. Bring dark clothes. But yeah,
dark clothes and beer.
Yeah, that's it, mate. More of a beer dance, if anything.
That's it.
No, but I think De Ligt, like, it's not really been released what's actually up with him at the moment, is there?
No,
which worries me.
That does worry me. But it's kind of akin to what United have been like with injuries this season. He's been quite closed off about it, and not giving too much away. What I really liked was, you know, I've completely diverted the topic here, but in the press conference pre-match, he had a go at the Athletic for knowing that he trained in a 4 at the back. So, like, he's obviously putting the feelers out, like, you know, that he's trying to control the narrative. I like that. There's a lot of things that he's done recently that has annoyed me. Yeah. We've already gone through that, but yeah.
Yeah, do you reckon it's the start of Lamrin just sprinkling misinformation out there? He's like, yeah, Onana's coming back and he started. Just don't tell anyone. Yeah.
I like a proper
Game of Thrones, that.
Yeah, that's it. Just putting bits of waves out there.
Yeah. That's it. Well, that'd be pretty.
We're signing Adam Wharton. Yeah.
But yeah, it would be amazing if he could just put out some misinformation there. But yeah, I think last night did prove that. Delit, we need him back. We definitely need him back. We have got. I think Heaven's a great young prospect, and it's good to see him getting game time, especially in big games like last night. It's good to see that, but I think we do need to be having our strongest defence out, especially over Christmas while we've got these two big games, Villa and Newcastle.
Yeah,
that's so important. So important.
So game management. Do you think it was the right change to bring on Martinez?
This was it. I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I think Martinez needed to have game time because we're going to be relying on him over the next couple of weeks, especially depending. We don't know about Delit's injury. I personally probably would have brought him on later in the game. I would have saw the game out a bit more, but I think he did need to get on the pitch a little bit because I think we're going to be relying on him a bit in a couple of weeks.
I think we're going to be relying on Dorgu, and Dorgu's barely got a kick in the last few weeks. You know, that's what worries me.
I suppose though the counter with that with Dorgu is we need him because of like Ahmad going, and so him and Delo can get onto the pitch, and if you put him on and he gets injured, then we've lost him. But that's if me anti-abolic should be my uncle kind of talking there.
Yeah.
But I think
how is Uncle Dave?
Oh yeah, coughing a lot. But yeah, that's it. It's I think there is that element of it, but I do think we should have probably brought him on later on in the game, not when we did.
I just wouldn't have brought him on
at all.
I don't think it was necessary. Like, I think what was probably more necessary is, and don't like when we got the goal, why not take Bruno Fernandes off?
It's so wild.
Why not take him off? Put a defensive midfielder on. And yeah, you bring on Xerxes as well, or whatever you need to do. But you know, I just think, like if anything happens to Bruno, we are definitely in the poop. You know.
Yeah. Do you think there's an argument now with Casemiro out that we now can't use Bruno as a number 10 during these games where he's missing, where we're going to bring Mainoo in centre mid and put Bruno as number 10 during the AFCON, so that we could do that? Do you think that's ever going to happen, or we're ever going to live in a world where he plays number 10 for United again?
Oh, I'd hope so, because it would be a really sad world if we didn't see Bruno further forward. I mean, he that's his game, you know, but he's done really well as the deeper one. I've
got to say, at the start of the season, it was all fire and brimstone saying he's not a centre mid. He's not a centre mid. No. That conversation soon quieted down. He seems to have gone about his business, and he seems to be doing okay. No one's ranting and raving about it, and I think it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction because there wasn't much to talk about.
That's it. Put that down as the bollock chip paper. Do you know what I mean? Like that's more Sunday sport reporting.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Bruno reports, obviously this afternoon we've heard obviously that he was saying in the summer the club were kind of happy to get rid of him. Have you seen this? What
I have, and my reflection on it is that, of course, the club would have sold him in the summer. There is no doubting that if the Saudis got to the level of investment that Manchester United needed for Bruno, they would have sold him. And you know, that's just a reflection of what happens when you don't have Champions League football. United needed to balance the books. United took out an additional credit facility in the summer. You know, they also got rid of a load more staff. I completely appreciate the fact that he felt unloved by some executives at the club, and it made him sad. I completely appreciate it. He is loved by the fans. Right. He's loved by the manager. He's loved by the coaching staff. Football, unfortunately, is business. You kind of have to be cold about it. I'm glad he said what he said, because I'd rather some things I want them to come out. You know, if that's how he feels, because I don't like underlying resentment. You know, but look, the reflection of the man is that he's, you know, our second top goal scorer. He's banging assists. That postage stamp of a free kick last night, his reaction to it in the Old Trafford roar was incredible. And, you know, we are a lesser football team without Bruno Fernandes, and he's our best signing of the last 10, 15 years.
Easily. And we were saying before about crying at Old Trafford, he looked broken last night.
He
That's
did-
what it means to him.
He did, but I've seen him cry Old Trafford when he doesn't get a free kick. You know what I mean? You know,
You can't quantify his passion by tears.
that's it. You can't. That's just him, right? And you know, I bet you he's a terrible person to lose at Uno. Do you know what I mean? I bet he's dreadful. Like, I bet there's absolutely no
Christmas Day it is. He's just
Christmas Day. Christmas Day. If you've got Monopoly on
Yeah.
with Bruno, you're struggling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's going to be arguments.
battering the nieces and nephew 15-0 on FIFA.
That's
no remorse.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Definitely.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the whole? What do you think of the whole situation?
Yeah, I think very much similar. It is a business and stuff, but I think one of the things for me is start of the season there was a lot of noise saying we should have got rid of him. A lot, and I heard a lot of it. And I thought, well, absolute nonsense. I mean, look at his stats. Look at what he does for Man United. Yeah, he's a bit of a Marmite character. He's like, you can like you, hate you and stuff if you're a football fan, but you can't deny his numbers. You can't deny what he does for this team. And to say just because we lost a few games at the start of the season, we should pinpoint it on him and say we should have got rid is ludicrous to me.
The best way to judge whether a player is good or not for you is if the opposition sings songs about him. You know what I mean? And every single away ground, all you hear is Bruno Fernandes, you look like a rat. Right? That's all you hear, right? That's because ultimately they want to put him off his game and they know how devastating he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a rat. He bags. Do you know what I mean? He's golden balls. Golden balls 2026, 2025, whatever year it is. For the new generation, Bruno can do no wrong. And, you know, let's face it, I would, if someone came in for an offer for Sir Alex Ferguson's chair, I reckon Jim Radcliffe would take it. Do you know what I mean? So there's not much he wouldn't asset strip.
That's it. Reusing the tea bags and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, talking very much at the moment, United's present. Currently, young lad, JJ Gabriel, he's been making waves again. You've had your eye on him over the weekend and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
I just think, well, I've had my eye on JJ for a while, as I've, you know, lots and lots of Manchester United fans. I'm reluctant to say he's going to be the next big thing, but obviously Barcelona, Real Madrid, everyone else is sniffing round him, which is always a positive sign. There have been, you know, Dongfang Zhou could have gone to Barcelona, I read. But JJ Gabriel, you know, he plays with a smile on his face. He's that type of player that's kind of drifting out of the modern game, you know, a dribbler, a bit like Cunha, you know what I mean? Someone who's just going to take a player on it. Football has come so structured and rigid, and he's sort of, his idol's Neymar. If he could play half as well as him, he'll have done well. But just keep the diving at bay. Do you know what I mean?
That's one thing.
But he looks like a player. He scored in the FA Youth Cup, youngest player to do so. Every time I've seen him play, he always seems to do something. He's got loads of goals for the under-18s this season. And yeah, he's another exciting prospect to look at.
Yeah. Speaking of exciting prospects, there was many years ago, United made a signing, a young Dongfang Zhou.
Okay.
Now that was a prospect.
It was a prospect.
As you know, obviously on this podcast, we're huge fans of it. There's been some activity on the Dong front this week.
There's been some activity on the Dong front. And we found Dongfang Zhou, and he's in this room. If you can tell me where he is, and comment where do you think Dongfang Zhou is, we'll reveal all on the next podcast. But yeah, we're delighted to announce that Stanley Chow has gracefully helped us create Dong. If you can see where Dong is here, let me know. And Stanley's going to be on the podcast in the new year. It will obviously link all of Stanley's stuff in the podcast. Stanley is he works with Manchester United on commissioned art pieces. And obviously he's any Manchester United fan knows who Stanley Chow is. You know, his work is iconic, and there may be a piece of it in this room.
Imagine.
And
we're still on the hunt for Dong fans, Europe. We are Ali, who was spotted at the Wetherspoons in Stranraer 2 weeks ago.
We are honing in on Dong, but if anybody
is tightening.
the net is tightening. He's a slippery fish.
Yeah,
he is a slippery fish. You know, some want to be found, some don't.
Yeah.
You know, but the ding has Dong for Dong.
You'll never find a Dong who doesn't want to be found.
Yeah.
That's what they say, as the old proverb goes. All right, well, on the... Yeah, should we just cap it at 7? Should we just cap it at 7?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried. I'm gonna say something ridiculous at this point because, you know,
That ship sailed, mate.
the ship sailed.
Yeah.
The ship sailed, and you know, like I love that. You know, 7 episodes ago we started this podcast, and you know we've got Stanley Chow's artwork behind me for one of our like fans.
Yeah.
We're fanboys of Dong.
Exactly, mate, exactly. And hopefully we can get some more.
Well, you're a fanboy of Dong.
We all are.
We all
There's a little bit of Dong in all of us.
There's a
So, God, things are getting terrible now.
Is it getting terrible?
And I actually didn't mean that as a pun. So, but yeah, on that absolute bombshell, we'll wrap it up there, guys. So, as I said at the start, drop us a like, share, comment, and stuff on social media. It really does help the algorithm.
Are we not going to look forward to the next game, Aston Villa? We've not even reviewed.
So it's right in the middle.
Did we? Oh my God, we drifted in. It's like, Dong has completely blown my mind. Dong has blown my mind.
Jesus. Right, yeah. So, like I said, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, whatever. That's right. I'll catch you next
And just make sure you tag Dong in the podcast. If you can find Dong, honestly, there is a reward for you. A big, big reward.
See you later.
Football, by the hell. Old Trafford, this is the future of dreams. Will you please welcome